Happy video day, guys. Christina, Brooke here. Today we are totally glamified. Today's the judgy day, so we're going to be doing my judgy series. If you guys have not seen the series, basically what I do is I go through all the eyeshadow palettes that have released lately and I give you my opinion on them. I really tell you my exact thoughts. So this is what is going through my head as I look at this palette and I decide whether I'm going to buy it or not. And yeah, lately, I mean, a lot of stuff has not shown up on the channel, so you know that my little judgy face was on and saying, So there has been a lot of releases. Actually, today at 4:30 p.m., Pat McGrath just announced her brand new release, which we will go over. Usually I try to go over the month before, but I am so behind on this series that I said, you know what, let's just start from now. So I'm gonna just be picking a lot of eyeshadow palettes that just came out and telling you guys my thoughts on them. That's what we do. Yeah, and so if you guys are new, I love makeup and I also love fashion. If you guys like those things, don't forget, hit subscribe, join the family. Let's get into this. I'm gonna start off with Pat McGrath because I mean, literally right now just saw the palette, so let's get into it. For today's eye look, I was playing with Natasha Denona. I will have the palette link down below, Circle Loco. And on my lips, guys, I am wearing my friend Tara Lynn's collaboration with Christian Audette. She came out with 3 different lip colors, and this is the one that has a little bit more of a peachy tone to it. It is my favorite color. I love peachy tone lipsticks. Mixed it with a little brown lip liner, and this is the look today. But now let's get into some makeup. Okay, so let's talk about this Pat McGrath launch that literally just launched right now. Okay, here's the thing. This is what it looks like. And usually when I start, here's the thing, is usually not a good sign. Assuming the palette's gonna be around the $125 mark, that's usually how much her motherships cost. And I'm looking at this one, guys, and I'm gonna be honest, when she first said that this is gonna be a colorful palette, I was under the impression we were gonna go see like a Circle Loco style palette from her, something super colorful. I was actually kind of excited because I haven't seen like that much color from Pat. Like there's a few palettes that have color in it, but I was expecting something like super colorful. So it wasn't what I expected. But that being said, I kind of like it, but I can see anybody who has Divine Rose 1 and 2 is probably looking at it going, oh my goodness, we've got that pinks again. So there's parts of it I like. Now this is what I'm thinking. I'm looking at the swatches right now. I'm loving the last 4 swatches, but here's the thing. Doesn't it kind of look like the Eternal Eden? I don't know, like there's a portion of this that I'm like, wow, that looks so much like Eternal Eden. Now I really like that coral color in here. There's also supposed to be some multi-chromes that they're gonna change colors, and I don't know, guys. There's parts of it I like, there's parts of it that I don't. The thing with Pat McGrath is you just really never know what you're gonna get because her swatches and everything is so photoshopped that sometimes it gives me a hard time. Like, I don't know, what is this really gonna look like? I will do a make up your mind on it because I do have some swatches here and I'm hoping that she does some live swatches, which usually helps me out a little bit more, even though she still puts filters on her live swatches, which really aggravates me. But do I pick this up or not? There's a part of me that says, you know, you don't have a palette like this from Pat McGrath because I didn't pick up Divine Rose 1. I didn't pick up Divine Rose 2. I was just so tired of Divine Roses that I didn't pick up either one. And I will tell you that Divine Rose 1 was my favorite, and there's a part of this muted down look that reminds me of Divine Rose 1. And since I didn't pick it up, this one is kind of calling my attention. So that is what I'm thinking as of right now. I also still see a gold in here. Bronze Solaris looks like it has gold, and I'm so tired of gold in Pat McGrath palettes. So there's things about this that I'm telling you is not like on my super excitement radar. But there's parts of it that have me a little intrigued, okay? So I will say this side right here, like just look at the last 4. Like, doesn't the last 4 colors, like right there, doesn't that look like the Eternal Eden? I don't know. It looks kind of like Eternal Eden. I need to see this. I need to see some better swatches. But if you guys feel the same as me, oh, it's called Secret Eden. Is it the same color? It's not. The last 4 colors, don't they kind of look like Eternal Eden? Like, it's not exact, but man, there's like a similarity to this one. But anyways, I love this palette because I really like the colors. Now this color right here, the one that's called, this color right here, Secret Eden, is almost like what was missing in Eternal Eden for me. So I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I'm not in love, but I am intrigued. Let me know what you guys are thinking about this palette down below. I did waste a lot of time on this one because it just got announced, and I was really excited to see something interesting from Pat McGrath. It is interesting. It is a little let downy in the sense that I still see a lot of those pinks in there, which I was hoping she would stray away from pinks. I just want to see something completely opposite. Show me something like green or something, like just get away from the pinks. But I do kind of like it, so I'm on the fence. If you want me to pick it up, let me know down below and I'll pick it up. Okay, so now what else has released? Okay, so Violet Voss has released a palette with Care Bears. And, you know, I'm looking at this going, I was somebody who, yes, I used to watch Care Bears. I don't know if anybody now knows what a Care Bear is. Like, I don't know if, like, the younger generation is, like, gonna appreciate Care Bears. But, like, looking at it, I'm like, well, I don't really like this color story. It's just a lot of color. I do see having a palette like this as an add-on palette is always fun. So if you look at this as an add-on palette, sure. But, I mean, I don't know. The colors are just not, like, super interesting to me. Circle Loco has a similar idea to this one, and Circle Loco was executed just a tad bit better because it had oranges in it. And I'm just not in love with this. I'm not in love with this. The collaboration is, like, whatever. This one, to me, is a total skip over. Like, I would not second glance at this palette. It would literally be something I'd walk right by. So, okay, so Jeffree Star is releasing the Pink Religion collection, and this is an automatic, like, no way ever am I gonna pick this up. Now, this is like every color of pink that I do not like. There is maybe one dusty pink in here, and I can get down with a dusty pink, and every once in a while I'm okay with like a little fuchsia here and there, like just like a little tap of that. But an entire palette around hot pink and Barbie and everything that I do not like, yeah, no. This is definitely a palette that I would skip because I'm just not into it. And yeah, I understand people really like pink. And like I've said before, I love dusty pink. It's probably my favorite color in the universe. But an entire pink palette like this, like I'm just going, no. All right, so ColourPop is doing another interesting little thing. So these are called the Ice Cream Bites collection, and they're little quads. Now, I actually like the arrangement of these quads. I think that they did a really cute thing with color story. There's some mints in here with browns, and then they also did a quad that had some orange and brown. The colorations in here are actually kind of cute. I think they did a really good job. And I do think that for the quads, they are going up a little bit on their price scope, but I do think it's really cute. I like the color stories. Now, for me personally, I'm not going to pick one of these up. I think that now going into the fall, I'm going to start getting into a little bit of something a little different. Like I'm waiting for something a little different, and this is just not it. But I do like this direction. I know some people probably are not so keen on this with ColourPop because they're so used to their bigger palettes and you get so much. And I get that. And I get it. But I do think it's kind of cute. So I'm on board. Kind of. Okay, guys, so Wayne Goss has announced his next eyeshadow palette. So it's going to be available at Beautylish. The Luxury Eye Palette. I believe it wasn't his last palette like $65. It was something like that. I have to say, these are colors that I love. I love these muted down colors, especially when it comes to clothes. This is just like my type of color story. So beautiful, so elegant. The only thing is, guys, is to be honest, these type of colors are the type of colors on my skin tone that can completely wash away and you can't see them. So there has been palettes that have done this arrangement before that I'm like, ooh, this looks really nice. And then when I buy it, I'm like, oh, you can't see it. So I really like it. I just don't know if this is going to be something that's going to go good on my skin tone, like maybe on a lighter skin tone. I'm not sure. I'm kind of iffy on a $65 price point if I want to even try it for myself personally. but I do think the color story is very pretty. I wish that there was a little bit of a deeper tone in here. Like I'm just missing like one like deepening shade. I'm somebody who loves to add like, well, my eye look today is just very extravagant, but typically I usually do a little bit more muted down looks, but I love to add some depth to that outer V. And in this palette, I don't see that depth that I would love to do, but I like the color story. I love that it's like this muted, very soft, very elegant eye. Kind of reminds me of the Viseart Paris Edit. You know what I mean? Like this kind of reminds me of that. So it's pretty. I don't know if I'd pick it up for me personally, especially right now, because I feel like Natasha's about to release her palette, which if you guys haven't seen my video, the retro palette is coming. Something is coming from Natasha. I know some of you guys are thinking that it could be the Cupid palette for holiday. I will say that the image that I saw, somebody also sent me the image of the front, and the front did say retro. So I'm assuming that it's real. And a lot of you guys have sent me that image on Instagram, like so many of you guys. So I'm assuming that it's real, and I'm assuming that it's coming. So we have retro coming out, the Pat McGrath release that I probably am going to pick up, even though I'm hesitant, but I probably will pick up. I just don't see this one going in with all of that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not there for me. So ColourPop, the brand that never stops releasing stuff, released a Powerpuff Girls and ColourPop. Like, I remember Powerpuff Girls. I don't think it was my time. Was it my time? I have no idea. I remember them, but I don't remember them. And I don't like the color story of them. Like it's a cute palette. This is very like, if you like this type of thing, then you like the palette because it has the colors of the characters. But for me, it's just like, I have a lot with my Circo Loco. I love the Circo Loco. Like, to me, it's just such a great palette, you know, and it's enough. I've got a lot of color there, you know, and like this is just like not my style. They're very, very bright, and I could see that the colors are probably going to be like kind of fluorescent-y, which is like totally opposite of what I like. So not into this. All right, so the Nars palette that I did my Make Up Your Mind on, I'm very interested in this Climax line. I don't know when it's going to be available in the USA, but I like this. So when I did the Make Up Your Mind, the colors that I found, I like, okay? This to me is going to be probably, if it does release, it's going to be a very wearable, very pretty palette that I think I'm really gonna enjoy. So I'm excited for this one, like super excited. I think I'm definitely gonna pick it up. There is like a random blue in there that I'm not like feeling, but all the other colors look really, really pretty, and I like this color story, okay? And I really like that they added like a plummy brown in there. So, so pretty. All right, we're not even gonna waste any time on this Hourglass release because I love the colors. I love the colors they released, but I hate the price tag. There is absolutely no way that anybody is going to convince me that this is worth the price tag. You can tell me that these eyeshadows are made out of gold, and unless they're giving me a massage on the back, I am not going to pay $161 for 5 shades. Like, it's just never going to happen, especially for the size pans that these are, and the fact that they don't even like kind of stick into the palette. They kind of fall out because it's supposed to be sustainable and all that stuff. It's not happening. You're not going to convince me. It's not going to happen. You know, like it's not there. All right, so I thought this was cute. Now, not that I want this, but I thought this was a good idea. So Tarte released their mini Tartelette Juicy palette. So this is a mini of the Juicy palette. Now, the reason I think this is smart, because I personally thought that the Juicy palette had a lot of like shades that were so similar in tone that I just wasn't like, I don't know, I just felt like it was such a big palette for almost no reason, you know, like it could have been a smaller one and I would have been okay. And this is like perfect. So like somebody who didn't want to buy that one, you can get this one. I do think the price tag is a little pricey. It's $39 US. I think it should have been cheaper than that, but this is like a condensed version of it, and I think it's kind of cute. I like the colors too. We also have a Charlotte Tilbury holiday release we're going to talk about in a minute, but the last one from June that I'm going to talk about is the Norvina palette that she released, which was called the, what is it, Eyeshadow Palette number 5. Okay, so I was kind of over this when I saw it because it was super purple, and I'm not like a purple lover. Like, I like purple, but I don't want like a whole palette of purple. However, this one got such good reviews, like almost that I got a little bit like maybe I should have tried you. And the thing with Anastasia and Norvina is Anastasia started putting pigments inside of her eyeshadow palettes, and Not every pigment bothers my eyes, but the Anastasia pigments kill me. Like the next day my eyes are like burning and red. So when Norvina launched her line and she was like, yeah, it's all gonna be pigments, I was like, oh great. I might not ever be able to wear your line. So I don't know if I could even use her formula or if it's gonna bother me, but yeah, this one got such good reviews that I kind of regret it. I never thought it was ugly. I thought it was pretty. I just thought like, oh my god, so much purple. Like, why do I want so much purple? Okay, so then finally, let's talk about the last thing. So the Charlotte Tilbury palette, that this is going to be the Instant Eye Smoky Eyes Are Forever palette. So this is releasing for holiday. Now, the reason I'm showing this one is because this is all over the place already, and a lot of the makeup accounts already have this up. Yeah, I can talk about it. So this is what it looks like, and I'm gonna do a make up your mind on this one. It's coming. I've been working on it because I almost feel like when I first saw this, I was like, ooh, she gave us green. Yes, there's green in here, and I got so excited to see this green little section. But then I was looking at it more, and I was like, God, this kind of reminds me of Starry Eyes to Hypnotize. It just like reminds me of sections of different palettes put together, and I'm like, I don't know anymore. Like, I kind of like this, and then there's a part of me going, Christina, this you have. So I really need to look through my collection and see how much of this I do have, because there's just something about it that's just, it just like, there's something about it that makes me feel like I have this palette. And I was looking at the swatches, and some of the swatches, like, I feel like those greens actually swatch a lot brighter than I would have liked. I like more like mossy hunter greens, and there is a green in here that swatched very like almost like limeish, which I'm not like anti, it's just like I'm kind of like, I wanted something like so muted. Like I want, here we go, I want a mossy green palette that incorporates a little bit of like those dusty pinks, a little bit of like very deep plums, and like mixing them all together to create this beautiful, beautiful, almost like jewel tone slash greenish, plumish palette that is my dream, that I was hoping that Natasha Denona was going to do for retro and include, you know, some of those lighter shades, a little bit more toned down, everything kind of muted, but we haven't gotten that yet. No brand is giving me what I want, and I'm like been desperately looking. I think fall, maybe fall, something like this will come out. But Charlotte got a little close with those greens in there. I saw little greens, but it's almost like I'm tired of seeing like the repetitive pinks. I like that brands like to play with these shifting colors, which is so cool, but I feel like maybe shifting pinks are like the easiest ones to do, because I just feel like everybody does like shifting pinks to this, pink to this, pink to this. Like I want to see like something else. So I don't know. I'm not like in love with any of the makeup releases that are coming out. The new Natasha Denona palette has me interested. I'm just not excited that it's retro. I will say that the Natasha Denona release, if that image is real, which I believe it is, I love the colors of it. Not for retro, but I love the colors of it. So, I mean, like, I'm excited for that palette. I'm just not excited for the launch that it's supposed to be, but I'm excited for that palette. But anyway, so that is all of the releases we're going to talk about that released like June and kind of July, because honestly, not that much has released. So I will say I'm not very excited for a lot of new makeup. I am excited, however, for the Mcgrath release, I guess, pretty much. And then the Charlotte Tilbury one, I'm on the fence, need to see some swatches, and the Natasha Denona, that I didn't put in this video yet because I'm not really allowed to show you guys the image of it, obviously, or they'll make me take down the video. So that one I'm kind of excited for too, but we'll see. Anyways, leave me your comments down below. What is the most exciting launch for you? What are you waiting for? But anyways, thanks for watching. Subscribe, join the family. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.